Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. Now we turn to the Tucson Roadrunners and their season preview, and you could look on the board. I think this is one of the deepest Roadrunners teams we've ever had since they came onto the scene in 2016. And some of these guys, they played in the NHL maybe last year, the year before. Guys like Sanford, Leonard, Kirkland, they've got some NHL experience. Same with Nathan Smith and Dylan Gunther, obviously Coyote players. But these aren't for sure the lines. I'm just putting all the forwards up here on the board, trying to see their positioning. I know Unique, not really a centerman. He's listed as a centerman on Cap Friendly. We'll see what the Roadrunners do with him. But I couldn't really find any more centers if they want to try someone else at center. But look at these four lines. Doan, Smith, and Gunther. That's a lethal first line. If you want to separate Doan and maybe put Sanford in that spot and put Doan on the second line with Ratu, because Ratu and Doan were together for the prospect tournament. You can do that as well. A lot of firepower there. And then a great bottom six. I mean, Kellerman's on that third line. A motor spirit type of guy, sort of like a low skill Connor Garland. John Leonard, McGregor's all right. Ben McCartney, a prospect who's been a bit quiet for the Coyotes. He slots in there as a power forward. He'll start maybe on the fourth line. Hopefully he plays well and goes up in the lineup. Curtis Douglas, we acquired him from the Connor Timmins trade. And Kirkland signed a free agency. Some other forwards, Hunter Drew, Hebig, and Thiessen. They'll be our extra forwards. They're signed to AHL contracts. So I wonder what the Coyotes and the organization is going to do with all these forwards. And these three guys, they played a lot for the Roadrunners last season, so they're deeper. Maybe too many bodies. We'll see if people have to go to the ECHL. We'll see maybe if a trade is involved, because there's a question mark here. I'll get to that. The defensive side of things, again, really deep. Kolyachonok and Soderstrom, Zuber and Kesselring. These aren't the pairings, but this is just the defenseman put on the board. You got Koch and Camphor. Koch was a free agent signing really early in the offseason. And you still have Crotty and Onyebushi, who's more like a grinder, fighter, goon type guy to replace Boko Amama. They're still there as well, but there's not a spot for them in that top six. The starting goaltender, Vialta, who comes from the Ontario Reign. He had great numbers for LA Kings minor league team for the past couple of years. We still don't know who the backup is. They got some amateur tryout goalies right now in preseason. Anson Thornton is currently injured, and the Coyotes are carrying him. They're not putting him back to juniors just yet. I wonder what they do here. If they wait for Thornton to be healthy and then put him on the Roadrunners, do they make a trade? Do they grab a goalie off the waiver wire? I know David Riddick is on waivers right now as I'm making this video. I'm sure I'll publish this after 24 hours of the waiver wire that he just got put on. But let's say Riddick clears waivers. Maybe the Coyotes send a 6th round pick to the LA Kings for David Riddick. Because he cleared waivers for the LA Kings, the Coyotes could automatically put him on the Tucson Roadrunners team. However, the Coyotes will have to pay him an NHL salary to do that, because he's not a two-way contract, I believe. Just there's options. I wonder what they could do for the backup. I really hope this Thornton injury isn't long-term. He's able to heal quickly in a couple weeks, and we get to see Thornton back up Vialta for the Roadrunners. I think that would be the perfect scenario for me, but right now the Coyotes are trying to decide what to do with this backup situation. Hopefully get some veteran presence there with Vialta. I know before the Coyotes picked up Vialta, I was hoping for a veteran goalie like Kincaid with Prosvetov on the Roadrunners, but now that Prosvetov got claimed on waivers by the Avalanche, we're left with Vialta and no one else. I really wouldn't trust any other goalie, any rookie goalie other than Thornton. I liked what I saw from Thornton, but if they go out and get a guy like John Gillies or one of those unproven, inexperienced AHL backups, that kind of gives me pause, and it's a major weak point for the Roadrunners. So if they could get a good backup there, or Thornton gets in there, it could quench my concerns. But it is a great team. I'm excited for the Roadrunners. I think they should be top 3 in division for sure. They got to finally come out and be a consistent perennial playoff team, competitive team. I want them to do some damage this year because every year after this, you're just going to get more and more prospects. Next year, maybe we see Lamoureux, Langlois, maybe we see Simishev, Boot. We don't know who could come here forward wise. Maybe Duda comes next year. But, you know, it's a great starting point for the Roadrunners right now because they're going to finally start to kick the door down on the AHL League and the Pacific Division and say, hey, we're starting to be good and we're going to be good for a really long time. I would have expected this to happen last year, but honestly, looking at that roster last year, it just was not going to happen. I like that Carcone led the league in points for the American Hockey League. Hopefully someone does it again on this roster, maybe Gunther or Doan. Speaking about Gunther, I don't think it's a terrible idea that he's starting with the Roadrunners this season. We saw it with Michelli, Hayden. We've got some bad experiences with it with Dylan Strome, Anthony Duclair, Nick Merkley. You could add Lawson Krause to the first batch with Michelli and Hayden where they went down to the Roadrunners, got their confidence back up, maybe fixed their game in certain ways, and then got called up to the Coyotes and never looked back ever again. You know, we saw that with Bunting and Garland as well. So more positive, positive news of players going down and making the NHL permanently than negative. Like I said, Duclair, Strome, and Merkley are kind of the only ones I see that are negative stories. Maybe Soderstrom might be in that pile moving forward. But that's it for me. I really hope the Roadrunners, well, my expectation is they'll make the playoffs, top 3 in their division, just be a horse in that Pacific Division. I know there's some competition. The Calgary team is really good with that good goalie in net. But I think they can do it. I think this is the lineup to do it. It's a great American Hockey League lineup with some sneaky good players that have NHL experience just to lead this team. So that's it. If you're a Roadrunners fan, you go to Roadrunners games. It's going to be an exciting time from here on out. So that's it for me. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.